G'day everyone, my name is Noah and you're watching TJM Farming here on YouTube. Now, this video is basically just another catch-up video. We've got a lot to cover. Normally when I start these videos, I generally say something along the lines of, we are a West Australian wheat and sheep farm growing merino ewes, rams, and a little bit of crop on the banks of the Moore River in Western Australia. Well, over the past couple of days, as a lot of my subscribers and a lot of you who have jumped on the bandwagon over the past week, you would know that, well, at the moment, we don't have any crop left on the paddock. Look, the past week has been absolute hell on earth for us, and it all started on Sunday night. But to give a proper full context of what happened, we need to go back to the start of the week and just generally go from there. And we'll pick up the camera from where we're at now, Friday. Well, here we are, December. We were supposed to be harvesting today. Well, as you can see over here, the fence has been completely knocked over so that the fireys could get in. Dad's gone and ploughed the house paddock around here. We've got Johnny Header, we've got the Mitsubishi truck, we've got the sprayer, we've got the flashes combine we've ever owned, and Little Red Tractor behind the header. Our rams are over there, none the wiser to all the smoke floating about. We're in fire mode. And I'm not saying that very lightly, because this is, well, it's deja vu for us. Not necessarily in the fire sense, but waking up in the morning after a big storm or disaster, wondering if we've still got a home. This is the exact kind of feeling, this eeriness that we felt the morning after Cyclone Seroja back in 2021. Well, the fire is still burning. It's along the banks of the Moore River. It's like where our farm is. It's been burning very slowly overnight, but I cannot tell you how scary it was to try and fight the thing yesterday. It just snuck up on us. We couldn't defend it, and that's because the Land Cruiser had a bit of an accident on the mission. Which are our next door neighbours, where wire wrapped around the front diffs and we just couldn't make it move properly. It was struggling to get up and move. So this is a very bad thing to happen when the wind is wild and crazy and the fire was moving as fast as it was, because just when we thought we had a fire front out, it bloody started back up again and you were back to square one. And so far 75% of Erinvale has been burnt to a crisp, from our understanding anyway. Once that fire just jumped into Clark Road and started in northwest, that was that. We had to get out of there. We were not sticking around because we could not stop it. The wind was just moving too fast. Now, we are not the only casualties who have lost a crop. The farmer who leases the country surrounding the chook farm, he lost the rest of his barley too. Now, we've moved all the machinery that we can. The only bits of machinery that are still left at the shed are the Nissan, the green tractor, and Uncle Ken. Uncle Ken did not want to start yesterday. We had jumper leads on it, we had a battery pack on it. He would crank, he didn't want to fire, which is the same fucking problem Big Blue had. And we couldn't move that either because K100 Kenworths, they need air to move. Chookies. So updates on the chips, the remaining chips. All 7 are still here. They've been discovering the luxuries of T-bone steak. I've given them scraps this morning. as well as number 7 over here, who has been feasting herself on the grain. She doesn't want to indulge in meat. Right, it's approaching lunchtime now. Quick update, Dad's put more fire breaks around the oat paddocks that are still standing. They've sent a dozer down into the creek, into the river, and pretty much we've just done 2 laps around the headlands on both the oat paddocks to try and deter the fire if it ever makes it this far. Dad's parked the tractor up by the other machines in the house paddock. Uncle Ken's been moved, as I stated earlier. We ended up having to tow it because the truck wouldn't move under its own power. And that is the fire over there. It's burning along the river past our floodgates. And if the wind changes, we'll be not looking good. All right, the blaze is coming, but it's time to get out of here. We've done all we can now. Now we just have to hope and pray that we survive this. Righto, well, good news of the situation is the fire has been contained enough that our property is now safe. Off screen because, well, 1, I couldn't find this, and 2, we just needed to be off camera for a bit. Well, we've gone and recovered all the sheep. I'm pleased to say that all of them are accounted for. All of our sheep are now in the confines of the bull paddock and little boar paddock over there. We'll be giving them pellets or something in the morning. But as for like the power situation, good news, power has been restored to our house and the rest of the area as well. I'll just put it lightly, the situation is very grim out the paddock. So the shorts pretty much explained what was going on with the fire at the time. Go watch those if you haven't already. I've got some photos to share of the damage done to Northwest. There's nothing left. The only remnants of the barley and the oats are the seeds that are on the ground. All the chaff, all the straw just went up and we couldn't stop it. So essentially, after all the fire drama and stuff happened, Wednesday onwards, we've been looking at the start of the cleanup process. Now, by about Wednesday, the story had reached the news, and word tends to travel quick in the farming community, both in person and online. I've seen each and every one of your comments over the past week, and I've hearted all the ones that I can. There's been a lot. But to each and every one of you who has subscribed over the past week, has liked the videos and liked the posts and come out in support of us after everything that's happened, particularly on Sunday, Monday and Tuesday, I just want to express a heartfelt thank you to each and every one of you. The cleanup has begun. Operation Merino Muster was a success, as I posted about yesterday, a day or 2 ago. I don't know, I've forgotten what day it is. It's Friday. It's Friday. I'm not sure when this video is going to go up. So as for the cleanup, Dad and I have gone around the farm today to examine the boundary fence, and there is a lot of work to do. A lot of wooden strainer posts are now completely gone. A lot of trees have fallen down on the fire breaks, and on the fence lines it's a really big mess. Essentially what we're planning to do is, well, most of the sheep are okay. Tomorrow we're going to be bringing them in the yards and sorting them out, making sure that everybody's all good. We've put the rams in with the ewes this afternoon. Everyone is now in bull paddock having a great big merino family reunion of sorts. And tomorrow we're going to be sorting them out, making sure that everybody's all good, and the ones that have been sadly injured or are suffering as a result of the fire, we're going to have to put them out of their misery. On the feed front, what's going on? Okay, so 85% of the farm, as far from the west end right through to Boggy Ute paddock, has been completely burnt. We have got a little bit of crop left. You can see that behind me. We've got the oats in the front paddock and hospital paddock number 2 that are still standing. Now, what we're going to show you next, this is where the community has come together in support of us. And again, I cannot stress this enough, how thankful I am for all the support we've received. It's been very humbling and I want to show it off. For this, we are going to be going for a little bit of a walk past the angry galahs who are nesting in the tree at the moment. Now, I want to give a very special shout out to two of my viewers that live just down the road from us. Richard and his son, who have been watching my videos for a little while now. Shout out to these guys. They very generously made an offer to drop off a Christmas present of sorts for the sheep. What you see behind me is what they dropped off. Richard and his son generously had their workmen come and drop these off for us today and say that if we need any more hay, they're more than willing to drop more off. So for these 20 bales, I say, look, Richard and your son too, thank you guys so much. These are greatly appreciated. The sheep will very much enjoy them as, well, we need every bit of feed we can get at the moment. So thank you so much. I also want to give a great big thank you to Tiff and the others in the Keep the Sheep volunteer group who have gotten in touch with us since the fire happened. Tiff's going to be coming out sometime next week. I'm not sure if I have it on the video or not. We'll find out together. But as for the harvest, well, Johnny Header Mark II is over there raring to go. We would be in the paddock harvesting the oats this weekend and having harvests last for all of half an hour, and I'll probably live stream it. We'll find out together. But, well, first things first, we need to get the header comb fixed up and make sure that's all working, and we need to get the firefighter fixed. This is just general safety precautions. Even though the bushfire is long since controlled, we need to have the Land Cruiser with the firefighter on hand, purely because Johnny Header Mark II has not worked for 4 years, so there may be a couple of kinks in the system that, in case something goes bang and smoke comes out, we need to have that firefighter on hand. So as of this evening, the rams have entered the villa. Yeah, that's a bit unexpected. I know we'll probably have lambs dropping in May now, but that's okay. Look, we just need to have all of the sheep in one group together for the time being so we can sort them out tomorrow. Now the cows are still out of the paddock. We don't know where they are at the moment. Last time we spotted them, they were at the water trough in Pine Tree, and that was on Wednesday or Thursday, I want to say, when we were conducting Operation Merino Muster. Now the cows, we don't exactly know how to move them, or at least I don't, and Dad might have a little bit of experience, but the cows are the only livestock left on the west end. They haven't got tags or anything like that. We need to get that done ASAP. Now, I also want to say that we've got our Starlink back online now. We've got internet signal in the donga finally, so that means no more using up all the mobile data. Yay, that's good news right there. Righto, good morning. Welcome to Saturday. This morning's plan, we're gonna get all of the sheep into the yards. We've got them all in full paddock now, all of them. So all 642 recorded ewes, the 15 rams and the 4 summer lambs. Dad's opening the gates now, as you can see. I've got the chesty on. We've got to be whacking this onto here so I can just focus on driving, on what we're doing. We're probably going to do a little bit of a time lapse, and then we'll see when we get into the sheep yards. We're at the gates a little more now. It looks okay, all things considered, from what you guys can see on the chest cam. This is pretty much as far as the fire got to. Over that hill there, it starts getting burnt. This is the last of our unburnt country. Be able to see on the camera or not, but there's 2 of our mamas with the summer lambs. They're going to be staying behind. Yep, there's another one there. You can tell they're Dorset Merino Crossies, because I think that's what the ram was. You can tell they're white like their other Merinos, but we'll take a closer look when we get into the yards. You'll be able to see they've got a little bit of a different kind of wool on them. There's some of our rams. Our ewes are typically what we like to call hussies. Any ram that gets in, they usually swarm them. Not all of our rams like that. We've had to chase 3 of them from the other paddock last night because we knew that one of them had already jumped in. This is the first time in a very long time that all of our sheep have been together in one group. You'll be able to tell all the different sizes. Yeah, there's one of the little babies. I think he was the first one to drop. I know some of the summer lambs are ram lambs indeed, and some may be ewe lambs, but we'll find out when we go to examine them properly. Well, at least we know all our sheep fit into the yards.
Oh, well, we haven't got many sheep left.
Yeah. They're thinking about it. They're thinking about it. Yeah, they're checking out the scene. Looking back to make sure they've got room. Typical merino behaviour right here. This is all of our sheep that we've got on the entire farm right here. All the ones that we could find anyway. So what we're trying to do here is, we've got all of our sheep in the yards today just to examine them, make sure they're okay. Make sure that they've all properly survived and that they don't have any damage from the fire or anything. Yeah, typical weaner behaviour. So what we're looking for is like smoke inhalation symptoms and burnt feet from my understanding. We know we've got about 2 limpy ones. We saw them out the paddock. That's why we brought them in the yards today, just to take a closer look. Also, when it comes to bushfires and stuff like that, sheep do tend to have burnt faces. Experienced sheep farmers will know what to look for, but I don't necessarily.
I don't know if that's from the fire or another infection.
Feet?
Hey, I'll just take a photo of that. One of the limpy ones.
Alright. Blopper in here. Oh.
That looks normal. That looks normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. No singeing on it. Any singed face. That's just wear and tear on the bloody hard gravel. They're fine.
Yeah.
This one, really. You know what, I reckon there's a small mob up in that other paddock.
In the little bore. Right, so we've got the last pen of sheep here now. We've got a little hospital flock over here going. We've got the 3 little baby summer lambs. We think there was a 4th, but we don't know where it went. Plus my ram lambs and 2 weather lambs. These are the sheep that will be staying home over the summer. Right. As for the rest of you, come on. $6.64. Okay, so we have got them all. They're thinking about it. Oh, they're running. Ah, the silly bastards have shut the gate. Off they go. Right, so the main mob has gone back out into bull paddock again. Right, hello, and welcome to Sunday. You join us back in the Kubota once again. We've got to get the sheep in again because, okay, update on the truck situation. What we're doing today, Dad's over there moving the sheep. I'm going the long way around just to save time opening and shutting gates down that end. We're going to go around, bring the sheep back into the yards, and we're going to be drenching all of them. Every single one in the big mob, and we're going to prepare them for the truck tomorrow morning. So we've got our, I guess you could call them hospital mob over here with our 3 baby summer lambs, their mums, as well as my ram lambs and 2 wether lambs. These are the sheep that are going to be staying behind. We've got everybody else over here. We're going to be drafting them off first of all. Then we'll be going through drenching the hospital mob, make sure they're all good. We'll send them back out the paddock first because they've stayed in the yards overnight. We need to get them back on water as soon as possible. And then we'll go through all of the other ewes and rams over here to make sure that they're all drenched and ready to go on the truck to counter tomorrow. Now, another reason why we're drafting these ones up here is because, well, the truck can only hold so much sheep. From my understanding, we are going to be drafting the ewe weaners off from the ewes and rams, just so that we make sure that we've got enough room for all the breeding ewes and the rams to go on the truck first. They're going to be our top priority. And we're basically going to try and put as many sheep on the truck as we possibly can, and the leftovers, they're going to have to stay behind on the farm, I think. That's the plan for the moment anyway. Through we go. If they'll let us. There's Robbie right there, 16. In the private selection, boys. How you going, mate? You doing good? I hope I got your good side for YouTube. Come on! Right, so we've got the hospital mob, and this is the first opportunity that we can take a look at our little summer lambs. These two, one of these two here is a little jester. It keeps jumping through the gates and stuff. You can see from the top, this one, apart from a little brown spot and a spot on his head there, you can see that he looks like a merino on the top, but he's got hair on the bottom. Likewise, we got Mr. Hairy Wool over there. Again, you can see a brown spot. That's, yeah, some of the genetics here have come from that affair making ram, but considering these 3 survived the fire, they've done pretty well. Hello darling, how you going? It is a straight up miracle that all of our sheep have survived the fire, and like in the footage yesterday, none of the sheep that were limping or had like puffy faces and that, that was not fire related. Everybody here is fine, which I'm very happy about. Good morning. Hello, sheep. Everybody's a little bit antsy because we've got a truck just over there. That is the truck, otherwise known as the sheep bus, coming to take our sheep away. The sheep are going on agistment. Where are they going? Back home to Canna. Right, so in typical fucking merino fashion, we had them organised and then they pushed them too hard. All these sheep over here, they're now boxed up. Great. Now we need a redraft. Come on, sheep. Yep. So all of our sheep have been loaded onto the truck. Further clarification to the last long form video. When I was talking about it like a B double, this is what I meant. Because you got the A trailer there and you've got the B trailer here. This is what we call a 4-decker. And we've managed to fit about 650 something. All of the ewes, all of the rams, all of the weaners. They are reeling around a bit, just so they can get comfortable, but they're all on and they're going on a 4-month holiday back to Canna. This is a bittersweet moment, really. I wasn't exactly expecting this, and I know at the time recording this, we are 5 subscribers away from 1,000. So this is not the way I was hoping to celebrate 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, but we're pretty much there. We are about to see all of our sheep go back to Nelly country. Well, technically it's not Nelly country they're going to, it's actually right next door. How do I put it? Wandanip country. Because they're going to the farm in real life that is the stand-in for Wandanip in the book. I'd never thought I'd see the day they'd actually go back to Canna, but you know, some of these were actually born up at Canna. Others were conceived up at Canna, and well, the rest, they've only ever known Erinvale. I'm sure they probably have stories of the old place, but well, new stories are about to be written. Bye, sheep. Have a nice holiday. We'll see you in 4 months. Don't be too much trouble. And there they go. And that concludes our sheep farming year on Erinvale. Righto, so now that our main flock are off on the truck up to Canna, that just leaves the hospital mob that you've seen the other day and the chooks as our only livestock on the farm. But wait, I'm forgetting something, aren't I? Ruby and Clarabelle, our 2 cows. That's what we're going to be going over to do now. We're going to be running out the paddock. We're going to be showing you guys a little bit of the damage. I can't do all that much because I'm limited in my battery charge on this GoPro. And yeah, let's go find the cows, see if they're all right. Yep, there's the first sign of fire damage, right there. Pretty much as far as the fire got to. Well, on land anyway. It's burned all down through the river there. Right up near the gateway that my older sister went and busted through with the Kubota a couple of years ago. normally on all this side here, in like a good year when the feed's all up and the trees and bushes are all there, you normally can't really see very well into the river. It's all opened up now. That's how bad it's got. Not too long ago, that was all thick bush. Starting to get into the real burnt country now. In the middle paddock now. A lot of antseals. Unfortunately, the corner that's got all the bush and stuff, that we actually wouldn't mind it if it got burnt, because we want to bulldoze, clear all that bush away and refinate it so that we can actually have some cropping ground. Believe it or not, that stuff's okay. It's just the good feed that normally grows up this side of middle paddock, it's all black. There's all the pine trees.
I don't know if I'm supposed to contact those people or what.
I don't know. It's all just dead and burnt. Okay, these trainers look okay.
This means this fucking thing. All the galvanoid's gone.
Yep. It's all rusty now.
Oh, now those pine trees are fucked. We could probably pull 6 of that fence up and just have one fence.
Yeah. Some of them started falling down already. So this is the paddock the cows were last spotted. This is what we call pine tree. This is where the blue tags were before the fire, and we suspect that there are some patches here that they would have gone on to escape the flames. There's like a dam down the end of the paddock there that's been untouched by the fire, that we've seen tracks go to and from it. That gives us a clue of where they might have hit during the blaze. But this is just a clear example of, well, the damage that the fire brought. Like, there's leaves and everywhere on here now, because there was just wind afterwards.
Yeah, they saying that there was ash from this fire 40 kilometres away.
Wow. Moving pretty fast. Yeah, that dam over there, that bank with a little bit of water in the middle, that's where the sheep were hiding. You can see their tracks moving to and from it. Like that path right along there, going right up along the end of the paddock there, that's probably where the blue tags would have gone and joined the other ewes and the racetrack north. Just hardly anything left. Righto, so after a couple of hours of searching, Ruby and Clarabelle are just gone. We suspect that they've taken off since the fire, and no kidding, because as you can see behind me, there is zero feed for them. So they're probably taken off down the river, in which case, alright, we'll have to coax them out with some hay. Just black. That beast roar. She's alive! Right, so we've moved Johnny Header Mark II over here. The thing has a few minor problems. So, in the last long form video when I was going through the header, driving it down the driveway, and we had a bunch of errors. Yeah, well, there's a good reason for that.
No, the rate of speed's working.
Oh, it is working. So we can technically use it. So the wiring's not fucked, it's just the yield monitor being...
Yeah, Jesse Dicky. All those fucking sensor lights are going off now.
Well, that's good.
When I put the front on, I had to speed the rod elevator, the rate of speed up. I don't know what I'm supposed to run it on or not. But we still got to clean it, buying all the fucking guards and shit.
Which we've got over by the sea container. So it's nearly 6 o'clock at night now. As you just heard in the past couple of clips, that is Johnny Header Mark II firing up by itself for the first time in 4 years. It has got a bit of rust in the grain tank and a couple of gum leaves, which not surprised considering that it's been we've had no choice but to have it camp in a paddock for 4 years because it got evicted from its nice super shed. But Dad was a little bit concerned that the alarms and stuff going on with the monitor box thing, the brown box, going off with the sensors. It was telling us something that's a bit dicky on this header. Will we find out what's what or not? We'll see. Alrighto, hi, Future Johnny Man here, on the 23rd of December. At the time of recording this, I've been looking at the channel and 999 subscribers. We are one away from 1,000. This is not the way that I was expecting to celebrate having 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, but just really quick before we end off the video, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who's liked, subscribed, commented on the videos and sharing them, not just in the past week, but the entirety of this year and for the past 7 years of this channel. I also want to give a quick shout out to our 2 channel members. We've got Mark and we've got Phil. Phil's our combine cropper. Mark is our rookie farmhand, our very first rookie farmhand. If you want to join both of them on the channel member tier, there's like 2 tiers. One's like $4 and the other one's like $11 a month or something. Every little bit of your support, if you can, no pressure or anything like that, the support from the channel members will go towards helping us keep the farm running and getting to do projects that we want to do. And we've got 2 of these absolute legends jumping on the bandwagon there. Again, you don't have to. I get that not everyone can afford to. I just want to give a thank you to my channel members. Depending on when this video goes live, this might be tonight, it might be tomorrow or Christmas Eve at the time recording, in which case, from everyone on Erinvale, from myself, from Mum, Dad, my sisters, our cats, Bindi-Sue, who is camping on the floor in the donga watching me edit this video, we want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you for 999 subscribers at the time recording this, but no doubt we'll hit the 1,000 mark pretty soon. Thank you to everyone who's made this entire year happen, made it possible. For your encouraging words, for your unsolicited advice, even though some of it may not be very useful. Thank you for getting in touch and being part of this small but lively community that we've got on TJM Farming. I couldn't have done it without you. So, yep, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment down below, or Bindi-Sue will eat a shoe, or something like that. I don't know. And yeah, happy farming, people.